That was not a review. That was a bashing.
Just try to get in line for the potato pancakes. Like, good luck. I'm hoping Notre Dame kicks the crap out of me tonight.
The reason I like pineapple on pizza is because welcome to Food Fight. I'm your host, Brian DiMattei. We are here in the Food Fight production studios here in Kingston, Pennsylvania. I'm here with my guest from Dallas, PA, Eric McDermott.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Welcome to Food Fight. We're going to get right into it. You're the founder and the creator of Food of NEPA. That is our connection. Just about my food page DiMattei's Food Fight just turned 2 years old just a couple weeks ago. And your page, letting me share directly on there, has been a game changer for me. I really, really appreciate that.
I'm glad it's able to help you and any local business. It started about 7 years ago. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I just started to post places that I always go for lunch, and it just kind of grew from there.
So when did you 2018, I believe, right?
Yeah, 2017 but I was just like that guy that took food more serious than the typical person. So I wanted to highlight places that I always constantly check out, like the mom and pop places, so other people could check them out too.
100%. And then was it just you posting on there initially?
So there was two routes that I could take where I'm posting and then I'm the only person posted, but I wanted to let other people share too.
So when I created my Food Fight page, I initially wanted to create a page where people could comment as well.
Right.
But it ended up being whatever the page was I created. I think it was more of a business page.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let me see what I could do with this. I wanted people to. I just created the wrong page.
Right.
However, it seemed to really, really work out. But the Food of NEPA page you're right. It gives everyone that platform to share everything that they share on there. You let me share my the Dollar Tree cheeseburgers.
Hey,
do you approve the videos? I know you have other administrators on there, but you do it sometimes too.
So I have some really great people that help out with that page because we do the pages for free. So you only have so many hours in a day to check people that want to post on there. So there's probably 6 or 7 of us.
Yeah.
And they help out and they do a really great job at it.
They do. There's never any bullshit on there.
Right.
There's never no names are getting dragged. Specifically, it was just last week.
Right.
I'm gonna blast them up. What was
Might
that?
as well.
NEPA food what was it? NEPA.
Yeah, I
food
never.
Review. They never post.
No.
Once in a while they do, but they're anonymous too. They're not behind any of their pictures or anything like that. They blocked me on all my platforms.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, because it was just. I don't like that shit, Eric. That's why I don't. That's why I don't like. Listen. Yes, have I posted a bad review about a McDonald's cheeseburger,
right,
or maybe some KFC, that when they came out with that pizziato thing, whatever it was. So KFC came out with this chicken parm, it looked like, but they were calling it pizza something, right? I ordered it, and they didn't put the cheese on it.
Oh wow!
So I never say the location, but I mean people know where I'm from, but I never say the actual location where it's from. But I'm sorry, you're gonna give me that, make me wait for it. It's gonna be scripted. The corporates, the billion-dollar corporations, they need to do better, and they're going to do all right for what they're charging us now. Right. People need to know what's going on with the fast food. When it comes to the mom and pops, I got mom and pop shops right next to this. Look at this. You walk out the door here. There's a little one right next door.
Right.
And then we have across the street, pizza down the street, all these places. There's probably 7 or 8 mom and pop shops on Pier Street alone, if not a little bit more.
Well, my page, when it first started, we did allow some bad reviews, and it was a lot to handle because that's not what I intended the page, that's not what I wanted it to be. I wanted to help promote local mom and pop places to eat, and it was kind of getting out of control. People were posting stuff, and I can't verify, did this really happen?
Right.
I don't know. Was there a hair in their food? I don't know. But then I started to get calls from local places, and a specific post would impact their business for days.
I could imagine.
And
I could imagine.
I didn't want to be a part of that. If you have a bad experience, if you want to contact the manager or post that on your personal page, that's fine. That's your platform. But I didn't want it to reflect back on me.
I completely agree. You want to be able to lay your head down on the pillow
Right.
and not worry about if something on Facebook, which
Right.
is, I mean, it's a big part of our lives now. It is what it is. We have to admit it. But it's also, it's not really that important when it comes to day to day, especially when it comes to how hard it is to run a restaurant to begin with. Never mind bozos, even including myself, saying
Right.
that I don't like something, so you guys shouldn't like it either. No,
Right.
it's just a matter of opinion. Like, I fucking can't stand root beer, right? I can't stand root beer, but I got Josh Ball's part of the root beer bottle right here. I took it on our episode, and I was like, Josh, I might not like it. He's like, that's fine.
Right.
I didn't like it at all, but he was cool with it. Some people just don't like root beer, but you know what, though? People love root beer, and just because I don't like it. So for me to say that this is a bad root beer, what the hell do I know? I don't like root beer. So any God could give me a root beer, I just tell him to keep it. I
just have a different vision of like how I view like local places. Like, I don't view them as just a place to eat. Like, I view it as like there was a time that they were sitting in their house or wherever, and they had a vision of what they wanted to do, and they did it. So like it takes a lot to move forward and start your own restaurant or whatever, you know. So like I don't want to let one bad experience like impact their business. Now, if they have a multiple, I mean, it's going to start to impact their business because people are going to stop going there.
Mhm.
But like I view like when I see a local place, like that was somebody's dream, like one day, and they acted and they made it like come into reality.
Exactly. That's a great point. It's a great point. The work they put into that, and it's just one person could just lie about it, and I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be part of that. If people want to comment on food I post, I'm not. It's a food fight page, so we're gonna fight about the food. But I'm not gonna start the negative fight. I'm not about that. I don't like doing that. I don't like the backlash. People, like I said, people in their inboxes, all that kind of stuff. So you're getting blasted by each side,
Right.
and people are like, "Oh, how about this page here? How about this page here?"
Right.
I heard a rumor about somebody down in Old Forge saying that people on the page were saying how much better the food in the valley is compared to on the Old Forge. Is that true? Did it start off like that?
I feel like
I see your face.
When I was in high school, like like 16, 17, 18, like we grew up in like Kingston, and we used to want to go to Old Forge on like the weekend for like pizza. I feel like I don't know if people do that anymore.
Go to town for pizza?
Well, like people from like the Kingston area
Okay.
make a special trip to go to Old Forge to get the Old Forge pizza. Like I feel like there's now like good pizza everywhere.
There is good pizza everywhere.
But like back when I was in high school, around like 2000, like we would get excited to go to Old Forge to get Old Forge pizza.
Mhm.
And I don't know if people still do that. Nothing against like Old Forge pizza.
Right.
But it was just a thing when I was like growing up.
It was like, you had Victory Pig in the Wyoming Valley. Then you guys
Right.
drove right. You never had it before. So you drove past that to go to Old Forge.
Right.
What was your spot in Old Forge back in the day?
It's been years.
I
Like
get
the one like right at the light. What is that?
We have Revillos.
Yeah.
Then we had back in the day. So we were the same age.
Right.
I think I was August '81.
Right.
So my spot was Gingerelli's Pizza.
Okay.
But going into the dine back in the day, it was like you flashed back to the 40s, and they bring you out like 2 cuts at a time.
Right.
Because they were just so busy. Like that was our spot for Pizza Friday nights. What I grew up on. So I would walk down the street, get a tray of red and a tray of white. But the pickup time was 4:30. I get there for 4:30. I didn't get home till 5:30 because they just make you wait. And the whole place was packed waiting for pizza. Nobody cared. It was so good. It wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
But it was so good. And
it was just a thing. Like, as kids, we would make the special trip to Old Forge. And, like, I haven't done that in, like, decades.
So good down there. You go to Rinaldi's Cafe? Cafe Rinaldi? I always say
for, like, it's like a formal restaurant.
Yeah, it's more dinner. Yeah, the dinners are great, but the pizza, amazing, too. And then there's a new spot down there called Bobo's Pizza. It's in the plaza across the street from Turkey Hill, but before you get to Taylor. And their pizza is a bit of a flashback to Gingerelli's, and also another place, I can't think of the name of it. It's Coloruso's 2.0 now, but whatever used to be there back in the day. Used to be, I can't think of the name of the pizza place. But they would compare the Gingerelli's a lot too, more like Ilio G's pizza too. So it's really, the The pepper on the crust, like cheese, it's absolutely delicious.
I just feel like this valley is like the highlight, you know, because like even if you try to compare Scranton to like you know the like Kingston Wilkes-Barre area pizza, it's just so much different.
So it's just so many different styles. I mentioned it so many times on the show. We got New York style.
Right.
We got fried Sicilian style.
Yeah.
Then we got what's up?
Which is my
Well,
favorite.
we're gonna get to that in a minute. Then we got regular Sicilian pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have there's Detroit style pizzas now popping up everywhere. But then we have what I coin NEPA style pizza,
Right.
Brazzi's pizza, Angelo. You like sweet sauce?
Yes.
Angelo's Pizza, Jerry's. That is such a unique pizza. I showed the video to someone that just signed up at the gym last night. He's from Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
So he's from the New Haven area. So he likes, I've been you've ever been to New Haven?
No.
So that El Pizza, you know what I'm talking
No.
about?
I mean, I saw the videos. Is
Yeah,
it
so it's like dirt,
pizza.
dirt pizza. They claim to be a pizza capital. It's good pizza. There's nothing to get over off of, you know what I mean? But it's good pizza. It's definitely experience. But yeah, I showed him a picture of Angelo's, the one and only. He's like, wow, that looks really good. He goes, why is the pizza? I go, that's what I'm saying. You're only getting this style in this area.
Right.
I haven't seen that style anywhere besides our area. I don't even think it's made its way to Scranton yet, that kind of style.
But one of the points, like no matter where you live in Scranton or Dunmore or Kingston, I feel like whatever you grew up eating, like that's what you love and like enjoy.
Yeah, but some people don't. But some people, they live and die by that.
Mm-hmm.
They won't even claim that places are good pizza. Oh, that's trash. Did you ever have
Yeah.
it before? No. I'm like, all right. So speaking of pizza, you also do mentioned you're from Dallas. You also do the Back Mountain community page.
Right.
And there is a post going on and on about people shrinking their pizza sizes.
Yeah.
From my own personal pizza experience, I eat quite a bit of it. I haven't noticed that because what I do notice sometimes is that the boxes sometimes are too small for the pizza.
Right.
Fucks up my picture, and it fucks up the pizza. But you know what though? I still eat it though. Just buy a little bigger box.
I saw that post, like I wasn't sure. I mean, I knew it was gonna go down like a rabbit hole, but I didn't really follow it. But like I don't really notice like the size of pizza change. You know,
I haven't noticed it.
I haven't noticed it. So, but like everything changes. I mean, every business is cutting back. You know, so everything costs more now. So
yeah, I completely agree. I was telling you before I walked back into the apartment before I go to Mike. I go, Mike, I just got jumped at Family Dollar. He's like, what happened? I'm like, I got robbed by these 2 Cadbury eggs that cost me $1.40 a piece. Since when there's a Cadbury egg that's one incredibly smaller than they used to be back in the day. So again, so Thanksgiving morning. I always thought these existed around Easter time and only on Easter morning when I was younger.
right.
So we would get these. My mother would just buy boxes of them, the boxes of 4, but they were so much bigger than this. This is the best candy in the world, in my opinion. This is the best.
I mean, times are changing.
The best chocolate. But for this to cost $1.40 and to be the size that it is, we'll eat those later. But holy shit.
So you grew up in Old Forge. So one of my best food experiences was at Aron's. I don't know if you
Aron's.
Yeah.
Aron's
Yeah,
is
I'm
where
probably saying it wrong, right?
Also, Aron's is exactly where Colorado's 2.0 is as well.
So that was.
They're getting their name dropped today.
I would say that was like.
It's experience.
That was the best overall dining experience.
You remember what you ate?
It was just the whole like atmosphere. Like it was, you know, you walk in, you know, it had the bar. It was kind of tight. You know, you walk in like, you know, the dining area with the tables was kind of tight, but they took beer and food like really serious. And I think that was the best overall experience that I have ever had in this area.
I remember I ate there once. I think it was, because they were a very unique menu. I can't remember the name of the chef. They mentioned they had them on the show, so I'm going to reach out to one. But I had some kind of like elk or something.
Everything was good.
It was just so unique. It was just, man, it was really, really good. I flashed back to that. Because that's the same building where that pizza place I was telling you about back in like the 30s and 40s in Old Forge was. And then it became, I'm not sure what it was after that or whatever, but it was Iran's for a little while, but now it's Colorado's.
Yeah, that was the best experience that I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, and I used to go there maybe once a week or once every every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And just like going there and trying to find like a place like now that like compares and gives you that vibe, but I just can't find it.
I have to agree. Like this, it was just so unique. Like I'm just trying to compare other places I go to that are like, you know, really great places.
Right.
But to be It was a very, very, very unique place. Very, very unique place.
And I feel like even if the same people try to recreate that, like it was just the perfect timing.
It's a good point. It's
You know?
absolutely good point. Absolutely good point. So we were talking about earlier. Do you remember what we had for dinner?
There,
Do you remember any of your meals?
I think like even the Gouda mac and cheese, I think it was a side, and I forget the meat. But their menu was so.
It's hard to remember,
out of the
probably.
world.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It felt like I was stepping out of like Northeastern Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
and I was stepping into some kind of like big city, like
Yeah, I understand that. I've had some fine dining before. My best, honestly, my best meal experience of my life so far was going to Hell's Kitchen in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Taking into consideration, I'm a huge Chef Ramsay fan.
Mm-hmm.
I watch Hell's Kitchen every season. YouTube, it's all over the place, especially the unedited versions.
Right.
You watch Hell's Kitchen?
No.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
So watching it unedited on YouTube with him screaming at people is just absolutely great.
Right.
And but I was in Vegas and we had dinner there, and one of their biggest meals on Hell's Kitchen is the beef Wellington and the lobster mac and cheese. I'm at the lobster risotto, and we had this taffy pudding, and it was an amazing experience. It was just the food was just. It was to die for. I can't wait to go back to Vegas and specifically go there and eat it again. It was so good. I recommend it. If you get a chance to go. There's one in Atlantic City, but I understand that is not as good as what? Why is Motor World calling me?
So what would you say is your favorite restaurant?
It's a loaded question. It's a hard question to answer. Favorite like sit down restaurant or just overall? Because pizza places might take over on that.
Like, if you had one meal left, like, where are you going?
That's my question for you at the end of the interview.
I'm throwing.
Are you reading my notes?
No, I'm throwing it right back.
My last meal.
Yeah. I mean, it could be pizza. It could be like.
It would be so. If I could have my last meal, could I bring back an older food?
Sure.
Gingerelli's pizza.
Wow.
Tray of red and a tray of white onions. That's what
you probably grew up on that, right?
I did. We walked down. I lived a block away. I lived on George Street, and that was down on Main Street. I was, so you're at Revillo's.
Right.
I'm 2 blocks. I'm right behind St. Mary's Church, like 2 blocks away from Revillo's, right? So I was in the epic pizza center of Old Forge, and every Friday night for as long as I can remember until they closed, we would get the pizza from there. But now the family has closure, and I understand that some of them are trying to reopen it up.
Right.
And I hope they do, because a lot of people wanted to come back. Supposedly it was supposed to come back over the summer. Remember, Bobo was up in arms. We're like, oh, what are we gonna do? You guys will be all right. You guys will be all right. But it didn't work out that way.
It's sad when our area like loses like a staple place. When Ho Yi closed in Wilkes-Barre. And I just loved going there to get takeout. Sue was like one of the nicest people ever. And like I never got attached to like a local restaurant before. And I actually went, it was either like the last day or the day before, and I took my boys there and we ate there, and it was just like I got sad, like Sue was great. You walk in, like she knows everybody's name. She knows what you're going to order. It was just like, she just treated everybody just like family.
I love that. What's your Chinese food order?
We used to get sweet and sour chicken, and like everything was so good.
It was.
Because if you go to like 10 different Chinese places, it's kind of all kind of
all the same.
Similar.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Her food and her like customer service, it just made you feel special every time you walked in there. And like I did get kind of sad, like
I can imagine. I can imagine. Where was that again?
It was in Wilkes-Barre, like where Red Lobster used to be, in that like plaza.
Oh yeah. Okay, I understand. That's where Big Lots is.
Yeah,
Big Lots is closing. It's a madhouse in there. I walked into Big Lots the other day. When I walked in, it was a madhouse. It was going out of business. I heard the announcement. Registers are currently down. Please be patient with us. I circled right out of there. I do figure by the time I got what I wanted to get, I would still be there right now.
Right.
Still be there right now.
So what place, like, if I had to throw like another tough question,
please.
If one place closed, what place would make you sad? Like if your favorite place closed tomorrow, Like, what place would that be?
So I was really sad when Gingerelli's closed.
Okay.
That was like a hit to like my childhood. But right now, it's so hard. Me and Mike are on a big Lino's kick. You ever go to Lino's Pizza?
Yeah.
So we're on a big Lino's kick, big Lino's slice kick right now.
Yeah, Lino's is good. Like, I like their chicken wing
Oh,
stromboli.
I have a great answer. Oh yeah, Mike, did you like the stromboli? Yeah, so
It's
you had the
good.
stromboli last
Yeah.
week. Yeah, the Italian strombolis are fire. Really, really good.
Right.
So great answer. You know, I have an answer for you, but they reopened. That guy with the dough and music.
I've never been there
That's my
before.
favorite New York style pizza.
Right.
It's a sourdough New York style pizza. It's amazing. Their hot wing pizza, you would love it. So they make the pizza regular slice, you know, with the hot wing sauce, everything
Right.
there. But it's not just chicken all over it. There's little oceans of chicken patches.
Oh, wow.
So it's like chicken. And what I understand is the original recipe, which everything is the same there. They use a little bit of, she used to put a little bit of Fran used to put a little bit of barbecue sauce in with the hot sauce. And you could taste that. And it's just so good. But so they were closed for about a week or two. And then Joe, who owned it originally, he's in his 80s. He retired from the pizza business. That guy with the dough used to be in Sunshine Market on 315 back in the day. He used to own a business called That Guy with the Dresses.
Okay.
So it cracks me up. But he ended up retiring from the pizza, selling it, and then he got a full-time job at the Social Security. I go, Joe, why don't you just retire? He goes, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
But then 2 weeks later, it turned out 2 guys bought it, and Joe went back in for about a quarter of the business, and they kept everything the same. They reopened, they revamped their hours, and they're back. I haven't been back there, but now they have a sweet sauce pizza.
Oh.
For some reason, I haven't been there just yet, but I want to try that. My favorite New York style pizza with a sweet sauce on there now. I can't even imagine what it tastes like. I'm overdue for it. Oh, you know what happened when they reopened? I was sick for 3 weeks. I had bronchitis. They didn't realize I had it for about 2 weeks. I finally go to my doctor. He's like, "You got bronchitis." I'm like, "Correction, I've had bronchitis." I go, "I've been dying for 2 weeks." He goes,
Right.
I finally got some medicine and got better, but that's why I haven't gotten down there yet.
Well, like, pickle pizza was like a fad for like a little bit.
I tried. Did you like it?
No, I never, like,
It's interesting, isn't it?
I stopped myself from like ever wanting to try it. Like,
So I had pickle fried pizza from
was it good?
Tiberios.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Like, I don't know. Are people still doing pickle pizza? Like,
I
or
think
is it-
everybody's making it. I think the craze has
It's, like, over?
we were like you couldn't see. All you saw was pickle pizza.
Yeah.
Sabatini's is a good pickle pizza.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in like a while, but
Right.
like it
I
was popular.
I used to give Sabatini's a hard time for whatever reason. I remember I had it once when I was younger. I don't think I liked it, but then I had it like about a few months ago. I loved it. Ate the whole tray like in my car almost. It was really, really good. It's just again in any NEPA style.
Right.
I'm gonna jump the gun. What's your favorite pizza in the area?
So I have to go with something that's like different. I like the burnt and bubbly at Newtown Cafe.
I never had it before. Burnt and bubbly like Maroni's? Burnt and bubbly?
It's really thin crust.
Okay.
And they burn the crap out of the cheese, like, 'cause that's the style that
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It's like, you know, when people see Cebolas and they're, you know, it doesn't visually look
I know what you mean.
appetizing.
Yeah, I got you.
So like the burnt and bubbly looks, you know, it doesn't look appetizing.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, you know, they burn the crap out of the cheese, but it just tastes so good.
Oh, yeah, I gotta try it out. I had Cebolas once. I loved it. I'm overdue for that. That review would probably crush.
Right.
Yeah, that review would definitely probably crush. So NEPA, Food of NEPA helped food fight.
Right.
Join the fight in the area when it came down to that. There were a lot of other pages help. Your page helped a lot of other pages grow
Right.
as well. Did Jim share his stuff on there from NEPA Pizza Review?
Yeah, I mean, he was posting from like the beginning, and
Okay.
like, you know, I'm just happy to see anybody grow. Like, you know, his page and his presence like has grown like crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But he does like a lot of good shit. You know, like, you know, he's now making his own pizza like in the videos. Everything looks so good. I'm just happy. You know, also like when I was growing up, people thought they had to like leave the area to like do something. I'm just happy that like younger people are staying like locally and they're doing creative stuff.
For the area.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's great too. A lot of people. This is the time of social media. Like
Right.
it's coming in. It's getting more and more and more and more popular. There's what is there? There's 2 or 3 billion people every day using Facebook, using TikTok, using Instagram.
Yeah, so people don't have to leave to like do something. You can now stay locally and do something here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't have to be you have to work somebody. You could work on social media.
Mm-hmm. Like doing a food podcast.
Right.
I think there's no other food podcast in this area.
Right.
You know, and this my passion of food alone. I understand the restaurant business so well for being in it so long, and I understand how hard it is to work. And I just love food.
Right.
I just love to eat. And I just want to tell everybody what I enjoy, but I'm not going to tell anybody what I don't enjoy, which is bring us to our next topic. I think we're on it in the beginning. I think we got carried away with something, right. But that review page posting that review about that salad at Barpazzo. There's ways to. They could have made the same review to get their point across, but what about the other food you ate? If you're going to give if you're a food review page, that was not a review. That was a bashing on the only thing you didn't like, and it was unnecessary. And they lied about it, which was even worse.
Right.
And, well, there's always 3 sides of the story as well. There's their side, there's their side, and there's the truth. But, I believe Barpazzo. There's no reason. And just for anyone that's not listening, because you mentioned it when we were talking the other day, like we should talk about it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
We'll talk about the impact of negative reviews. I know we talked about that already, but specifically was that salad review is, one, you got to know what you're eating. And 2, what about the other? You posted pictures of 4 different types of food. What about your dinner? What about the meatballs? What about this? What about that? Why'd you only blast the salad? And also, you don't regularly do reviews. It just didn't make any sense to me. What's your opinion on it? People were fired up that day.
So I came into it late, and then I started reading the comments. I feel like reading comments is how you like find out like what really happened. So actually, I was kind of glad that it happened, and why I'm glad that it happened because it actually shows you how much support people have for like local mom and pop places. So, I see that post as the typical, like, it didn't go the way that you expected it to go. He put,
That's true.
he wrote a bad review about his salad. And then, people jumped in, the owner jumped in, and then all the people that enjoy his food jumped in, and it kind of like, it turned around, like, the table turned, and it was just nice to see how passionate people are about their local restaurants.
I agree.
Like, just the support that came in and, like, backed up Barpazzo was just incredible. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the guy tried to, have his, like, 10 minutes of whatever, to try to, like, bash a salad, but it kind of blew up in his face. Or her. I don't know who really runs that page.
Exactly.
But it just shows how strong of a support our area has.
I completely agree, and it was a coincidence that I had reservations for Barpazzo. I made them on Friday. That post blew up on Saturday, so I went to dinner. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the Caesar because I don't like bitterness on certain things. Right. I don't like certain cheeses, However, my girlfriend, she's like, "No, I'll get it. We'll share it." I'm like, she's like, "You have to get it." I'm like, "Yeah, we do have to get it." You're like, "You're right." And she's like, "Yeah, you have to get it." I'm like, "Yeah, you're absolutely right." So we ordered it, and it was. I love Caesar salad. I like anchovies in my Caesar salad. Are you an anchovies guy?
No, and that's what I kind of.
There wasn't anchovies in there, but in the dressing there is, of course.
Right.
But I like whole anchovies in there, man. You don't want to come near me after eating anchovies. But the salad was delicious. It didn't no bitterness at all. Now that person could have tasted a bitter salad. But just the way the review was, that was the problem. And that's what people weren't understanding in some of the comments. Like, oh, they're entitled to their right. Yeah, of course they are. Mm-hmm. But there's ways to do it and there's ways not to do it. In my opinion, that was the wrong way to do it. Especially if you had that problem and you tell this. I was a server for a long time. Mm-hmm. I would go tell the manager, of course. But there might have been times where I'm just so busy, I maybe forgot to mention it. It's happened before. But as the customer, yes, of course, the server should handle that problem. I get where you're coming from with that. However, if they didn't, for you to leave the restaurant and then go on Facebook and bash it instead of looking for the manager yourself, not hard to find a manager in that place. Everything's open in the Barpazzo. You can find the right person to talk to. Or you simply say to your server again, hey, Do you mind bringing a manager over again? That's it. They didn't
Right.
do their due diligence, in my opinion. What do you think?
It was just like I would never take a small salad and like turn it into a big situation like that. You know, like I mean, I'm not a professional food reviewer. Like, there are culinary chefs that make it however it's supposed to be made professionally, and that's how it's supposed to taste. And like, I'm just a amateur food person. Like, maybe I don't know what it's really supposed to taste like. You know, I just eat the typical Caesar salad that is at a pizza place or something. You know, at like Hops and Barley's or something. You know, and like how there's a big difference between that and like a professional chef that makes it like a different way. You know, so I think you have to adjust your taste buds, you know, but like just trying to bash a salad, I think you just make yourself look bad.
I agree. I agree. That's what I was saying about like the bitterness. People were jumping in about like
Yeah.
certain ingredients are typically bitter. I honestly think their review was more about the guest service from the manager not coming over than so much the salad. That
Right.
was that seemed to be their biggest complaint. But they didn't go out of their way to solve their problem. They expected it to be hand and foot handed to them. Well, sometimes you got to ask twice.
Right.
Sometimes you got to ask twice.
Like,
You know what I
what
mean?
what do you expect to happen when you go on social media and you post about your salad that you didn't like? Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to happen? Like, if you seriously did not like your salad, you should have handled it there. You know, like
100% agree. 100% agree.
you know.
Fuck
so-
that page. Fuck that page. They're done. They're done. They're never gonna review again. I won't know because they blocked me, so I don't really
I just
know what
feel
happened.
bad for people involved. Like there could be a waitress that was
So-
involved, and you know,
And there was. They bashed her on there,
yeah,
and that's why John got involved. They never fight. He said that was the first time he's ever went back at somebody because the server was upset, and that's why maybe I shouldn't be talking about it, but I am. You know, it is what
I
it
mean,
is, and it
he
was
has-
unnecessary.
he has to stick up for his team.
Exactly. I'm glad he did, and
You
and the
know?
whole valley appreciates that.
It could be a mom just trying to do a job to pay the bills, and she takes great pride in what she does.
Yeah.
And somebody went on and could post something negative and completely ruin her day. Like it's just unnecessary.
I believe that's exactly what happened, and that's why it turned into what it did.
Right.
I hope she got closure on that.
I just think people don't look at the bigger picture.
I completely agree. I agree. That's when I started my page. I'm like, let's just keep it positive. I looked at the bigger picture. I'm like,
Right.
nobody wants to hear me saying this, because there was one review where I was like, this pizza was voted this. Well, I'm not sure about that. I was like, why did I say that?
Yeah.
So I actually erased it off of my page. Speaking of, we mentioned fried pizza earlier. You're from Dallas.
Right.
Tell me about the bowling alley pizza. Back alley bowl, right?
Yes.
I don't know why I haven't been there yet. General Tso's chicken
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah, so they have General Tso's. I think they have like 5 or 6. Like, I like their chicken wing pizza the best. It's a place you could take your kids bowling. You could eat pizza
While you're bowling, right?
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or I mean, that's the best. Like, because I only live 5 or 10 minutes, and one of my biggest pet peeves is like when I order takeout, I always get there 5 or 10 minutes early
Mhm.
because a place could tell me 30 minutes, and it could be 20 minutes, and it could just be sitting there like getting cold. But I would go there, like if you have kids, take your kids, or go with your friends, go bowling, and just have it fresh.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna do. Go there, bowl. I'm assuming having a cut of pizza and then grabbing the bowling ball will probably result in the bowling ball slipping out of your fingers.
That's fine.
I
mean,
might bowl better that way.
yeah, you could get the chicken wing pizza, which is my favorite, or the General Tso's is also like really popular.
I love fried pizza.
But like that's the great thing about our area. Like there could be a bowling alley that has crazy ass pizza. Like even the bowling alley, Chaco's has really good pizza.
I was at Chaco's last week for the first time. We didn't get a lane. It was just there was this busy.
Mhm.
Here was my grip with that. Let me see if you agree with me or I'm just being a bozo about it. We waited for a lane about 45 minutes. It was fine. We sat at the bar. She had a drink. I had a water. We're bullshitting. Some guy was sitting next to me. He had a couple of drinks. He's like, "Hey, you're the food fight guy." I'm like, "So yes." He was in my ear the whole time. I don't mind. He's like, "I'll leave you." I'm like, "Bro, we could talk about it. It's fine, man. Nobody cares. It's cool. You don't have to keep saying you're gonna stop talking to me. and then turn away and then come back. I love talking about this shit. You know what I mean? So we were bullshitting, and then they called us. They texted us for the lane. We get out to the alley. We got to the thing. The line was going out the door.
Oh, wow.
So I walked up to the desk. I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, do we have to get back in line for the lane that we were called on? You have to wait in line.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, okay. I feel like I've already waited 45 minutes for the lane.
Right.
I spent money in the bar. If my lane's ready, there should be a spot up at the counter for that, people. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. This is my opinion. I could be wrong with that, but I think that's fair. We were gonna wait another 45 minutes in line just to get the lane. Right. And they probably would have texted us that your lane is still open. Where are you? Anyways.
Well, now you have more of a reason to go to Back Mountain. And they
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Back Mountain has a lot of good pizza places.
I'm sure they do.
The bowling alley, I mean, a lot of people that, I went to high school with or college and, they go out of the area and then they come back to visit family, they go to Pizza Perfect.
Oh, I love fucking fried pizza.
It's just like what they do. Like, when you come back, you go to Pizza Perfect.
So Pizza Perfect, Pizza Lovin', Chandra's, Victory Pig. Now, these are some of the OG fried pizza places. Mm-hmm. Some of them still have the lady from Chandra's told me, really nice lady. I can't remember her first name.
And they're only open like what,
2 days a week. Yeah. Wednesdays and Fridays. But when I went there the first time last year, I was in the car. I was doing something for the review, and she came, knocked on the window, scared the shit out of me. The pizza almost flew into the car. That would have been funny. But she told me that the pans she still uses, the pans Victory Pig used or whatever they use, and also Pizza Lovin', they were made specifically for NEPA. NEPA blue steel pizza pans, the originals. So imagine the seasonings on those.
I feel like if you go out of our area, even on vacation or visit families, I feel like some areas take like a food category serious. Like if you go to Philadelphia, it might be cheesesteaks or something. Mm-hmm. I feel like our area is like pizza and chicken wings.
Yeah.
Those are, there's a lot of good, like, sit-down restaurants, but I feel like our area takes those two categories probably more serious than other areas.
People 100% take food serious in this area. Right. You know what else they take serious in this area? Penn State and Notre Dame football. Let's veer off the food for a couple minutes when we get back into what I want to talk about Pizza Hut and Twigs up in Tunkhannock. You mentioned earlier. Right. I had to make a note because I've been to Twigs a few times. But Notre Dame and Penn State.
Yeah, I actually put my food order in on Sunday.
Where are you getting food from?
So I don't eat pizza in Nanticoke a lot. It's like a space that's just kind of like a little bit out of my area. So like 2 weeks ago, I had Marty's Pizza, and it was their Sicilian. And it was like the crust was really, really, really good.
You recommend it?
Yeah. So So I called Sunday because I didn't know, our area is nuts about Penn State and Notre Dame.
Yeah, they are.
So I called 4 days in advance, and I thought they were gonna think I was crazy, but I didn't want to wait until Wednesday when there wasn't a spot.
I don't blame you.
Because just like Angelo's, if you try to order pizza from Angelo's, forget it. There's you have to call hours and hours in advance.
You got to call about 2:30 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. Right. That's when you get your pizza. Half an hour.
So
God, I love Angelo. That was so good. That was the first time I had it in a year. I just had it a few weeks ago.
Right.
Bill reached out to me. Bill Ricky reached out to me. And I'm on the pod. I want to hear the family triangle story. You know that Angelo's, Richie's, and Jerry's.
Yeah.
All come from the same stock.
So I've been eating at Jerry's a lot. I haven't been there in a month.
It's been a while for me too. You drive through or you go in?
On Fridays. I like to go there on lunch for Fridays because they open at noon.
Okay.
And it's never a problem. You walk in there, it might open at 11. So I get there right when they open, I get a mini, sit down, and you don't have to wait a long time. It's the same as Angelo's in my opinion, without the long wait.
Interesting. Yeah, I've had both. Both are excellent.
Right.
I'm Angelo's though. Angelo's was my first sweet sauce pizza just 3 years ago. So I never had sweet sauce until I was 40 years old, and it blew me away.
Right.
The Angelo's, yeah, they're very, very good. You ever Ricky's Sicilian pizza? That's their
I
specialty.
think I've had it. Isn't it really heavy, like with the
It's big.
cheese?
Oh yeah, it's like this. I
Like-
had it one time. Yeah, it's the big Sicilian.
Yeah, like
it's
when you
not
have a-
fried.
yeah.
It's not fried Sicilian.
like-
It's based. It's just
Yeah.
traditional Sicilian pizza.
That's how the back mountain, like you could probably barely eat like 2 cuts. It's like heavy.
Told yeah, Victory Pig. So funny story when we went to Victory Pig when they were getting ready to close. It was the last Saturday. I posted the review. I waited there an hour and a half and order, and then you wait. You order in your car. You don't you call, right? So she comes takes the order. She brings the pizza out, and I was going for dinner. At this point now, for 7:30, it's almost 6 o'clock.
Right.
I get the pizza. I'm like, oh, let's have a couple cuts. Do the review. I had one cut.
That was it.
I had another cut that I gave the people behind me that were waiting for pizza. They drove like 3 hours to get it, so I gave them a cut, and then I just had another one. Next thing I know, all I had in the car were bar napkins,
Oh jeez.
like 3 of them. So imagine the grease coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't super greasy, but fried pizza's greasy.
Right.
Now some fried pizzas are greasier than others.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Some fried pizzas are greasier than others, but it was amazing. But some of the best. Yeah, it was some of the best pizza I ever had. It was worth it. I would experience it again. Not for the price was crazy, but the pizza it was really really good. You ever have Brazzi's Pizza in Sawyersville?
I have not had that yet.
That's a very unique style pizza. It's NEPA style.
It's like New York style, right?
No, it's kind of like Angelo's, but it's kind of a little different, a little thicker, but still that crust though. And Andy does a sauce swirl. There's no sauce on the crust, so it's crust and cheese. And then he comes out, puts the sauce swirl on. He does a regular sauce and a sweet sauce, puts it back in the oven, and it's so crispy. He did something to his ovens last year. I'm not going to give his away his secret,
Right.
but he changed things up a little bit, and it was even more crispier. He uses the best ingredients, too. It's like a little factory up there. Up the street.
So I mean, I don't mind paying a little bit extra if there's like quality there.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. The quality. People don't want to pay for quality. They want cheap food. Like someone mentioned that the Angelo's pizza was $15 for a large. Was too much.
Wow.
For a large, that pizza was worth every penny. Worth every penny. Give the guys a couple bucks. Give a couple bucks.
Yeah, I mean you're paying for quality. I mean.
Yeah. So you got your food. You got your food ordered for the game tonight. You're a Penn State fan, right?
Notre Dame, and I'm going right after this to go to Sanitary Bakery. Gonna pick up some treats. I think if that place closed, this area would be severely sad.
Sanitary Bakery.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have their sweets, but I've had their pizza that's similar to the Nardone pizza.
Right.
But it's like Nardone's pizza on steroids, and it's just so good. It's good warm. It's good cold. Ah, man, I go for a whole box of it right now.
There's not that many good local bakeries left, and that is probably a pain in the ass business to run because you probably have to wake up super early, make all the desserts and everything.
Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, there was that one place in Swarsville, they had that sweet sauce pizza. I don't know if you ever had it.
Which place is that?
Do you remember that place in Swarsville? I mean, people watching will know
So
it.
the only 2 people I know in Swayersville pizza place I know now currently is.
It's closed now, though.
Oh, okay. I won't know then. I'm a Valley transplant.
I think it was like Nemit's Bakery back in the day, and then
some
maybe
people
it
comment.
changed. But it was cold pizza, and it was mostly sauce, and it was really sweet.
I love sweet sauce. Absolutely love. I never had a sweet sauce that was too sweet. I haven't met one of those yet.
That was very sweet pizza.
Did you ever get extra sweet sauce on Angelo's?
I mean, I don't really like pizza cold, but that was a pizza that you could eat cold.
I love cold pizza. We used to leave. Growing up in Old Forge, you would eat pizza Friday nights, and then you would just leave it on the stove till next morning. You wouldn't put it in the fridge. You wouldn't cover it. I mean, the box would cover it up.
Right.
But people were like, "You're gonna die for me in that." I'm like, "Listen, no one has died in Old Forge in 100 years eating pizza the next day." My mother, if we didn't save my mother a piece of double crusted white for her coffee in the morning, we heard about it. She'd wake us up early on a Saturday morning. Who ate the last cut of white pizza? We just leave it on the stove.
Right.
Yeah.
Like another good aspect about some of our mom and pops is you walk in and you could see the owner, and when you're a staple customer, they know what you want. It's just I just love that experience locally. Dealing with the owners, and they treat you really nice, and those are the places that I like to come time and time again.
I completely agree. Those they're gonna bring me back. The food's one thing, but you said earlier it's more than food. It's the community.
Right.
It's they rely on us to support them. You know what I mean? And we rely on them to give us good food to eat. I want to come pay for your food. I enjoy eating food. So all the good food in the area, man, like we're spoiled. It's great.
Yeah, I feel like, people don't really know what they really have here until you probably move away.
Yeah. A lot of people, we hear a lot of people that moved away, like, oh, I miss pizza back home.
Right.
Of course you do.
Or like pierogies or like Polish food.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of pierogies,
Yep.
I was mentioning Mrs. Fritz Homemade before. She's one of my sponsors on my show. I was unfortunate I wasn't able to get any product for us to eat today, but I'll make that up to you. Yeah, she makes homemade pierogies, homemade pickles, all those kind of things. I absolutely love. There's so many great homemade places. Neat Pierogies, another one. Up there in Anticoke. I was telling you about Anticoke. I love pierogies.
And then you have the church bazaars.
Yep.
So my mom.
I love that name, Bazaar.
She's a part of St. John's in Larksville, and like, just try to get in line for the potato pancakes. Like, good luck.
I just smelled them.
Like, there's like a hour wait, line. It's just nuts.
How do you eat your potato pancakes?
I mean, salt and sour cream. Like, people use applesauce, but
I use ketchup.
Ketchup?
I'm a ketchup guy. Oh, applesauce. I used to applesauce inside. We used to serve. I mentioned I used to work at Marvelous Mugs back in the day.
Right.
We used to serve little mini potato pancakes. They were frozen, but they were good though. I would eat that. It's more like a baby hash brown, but they have applesauce and sour cream. But I was a ketchup guy.
I don't know if I could get behind that.
I would make potato pancake sandwiches. So get 2 potato pancakes, a potato roll, put some ketchup on there, little lettuce, tomato.
Have you ever had St. John's?
Where's St. John's? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Larksville. I think they're like bazaars in August or September, but you literally have to get there early.
Okay.
And wait in line.
I'll have to try it out. You ever go to the picnics in Old Forge back in the Filetes in Old Forge?
Not like, I don't get out as much as I want to. Like, even the Pittston Tomato Festival. There's a lot of good food there. I didn't get a chance to go there this year.
I did the spaghetti eating contest.
Oh, really?
Some guy ate it in like 37 seconds. It was disgusting. 2 pounds of pasta. I don't know how he did it so fast. It was just pasta in my nose and everything.
Yeah.
It was fun though. A lot of good food.
Now, have you had that pizza in Hazleton? It's like Schmutz or something?
No, I haven't been to Hazleton in the longest time. I am going to Hazleton on Monday for a CT scan of my hand. I have arthritis, I think. So they want to confirm that it is arthritis. It's not feeling too good right now.
Right.
But I'm going to Hazleton. There was either go to Viewmont on the 23rd of January or go there for the 13th. It's almost the same distance. So maybe I got to go there for 3 o'clock. Maybe like Schmutz. I'm going to try a couple places while I'm out there.
I think it's the bakeries to have. They have that like cold pizza. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's called Schmutz. I don't know. I don't go to Hazleton too much.
Yeah, me neither.
But I would, they're very, they probably grew up on that. They're very, supportive of that.
Yeah, so I definitely want to try that out. Schmutz, I had to remember that name. So real quick, I want to tell you why I am a Penn State graduate, but also a
sorry?
Huh? Yeah, but I'm also a Penn State football hater. So it's ironic. I used to go to the games and sit in the student section, and I wear the other team's gear.
Right.
Ohio State gear. That almost got me beat up one year.
I'm hoping Notre Dame kicks the crap out of me tonight.
That Valley can't handle it if Penn State loses.
I just love that our area is so, Penn State or Notre Dame. I feel like our area needs this game, just to have, one, happy moment.
Well, someone's not going to be happy.
Yeah, but we just been through, a year of just too much, negative, in the news. And, I feel like it's time to get happy again.
Yeah, I agree. And someone's gonna be happy tonight. And the reason I hate Penn State football, I grew up in Old Forge. Down the street was GI's bar. They are a Pitt Panther bar. I literally grew up in the bar. So me and my friend's family owned it. We were running around. The 80s were a different time. And 90s were a different time. You do that shit back in the 80s and 90s. You run around, busting balls, hitting guys with cue sticks, drinking soda, playing the pinball machine, eating food and eating chips. But I grew up to hate Penn State. It was just every year I'd understand more and more and more. They would tell me, you're not gonna like Penn State when you grow up. You're gonna like Pitt. And I just whatever they lose, every year they blow it. Every year they choke, and they're gonna do it tonight.
I can't wait.
They're gonna do it, and they're definitely gonna do it tonight. So you mentioned. Oh, you want to get on to real quick before we go back to the food? You are like my brother, selling baseball cards, right?
Yeah.
Pokemon cards.
I mean, COVID changed everybody.
Exactly. That's my next point, Eric.
If you're not doing a side hustle, at least 1 or 2 side hustles,
Like a podcast.
I mean, you have to, like, you can't rely on one thing anymore. Like, if COVID taught us anything, like, you need to be, like, open to try other things that could bring money in. And, like, I didn't realize how much Pokemon cards, how big that, like, space is. But I have two boys, and we started with the Christmas, and, like, I started, like, how when you have kids and you buy them presents, they play with the presents for like 2 weeks. They break, they're sitting in a corner, and then they're getting shipped off to Salvation Army. So, like, I got them into Pokemon cards, and, I'm big into, like, investing. And I got them on board with, like, wanting to, like, change their view of, like, Christmas presents. And, yeah, sure, they get some toys and stuff.
Sure.
But I started to buy them Pokemon cards, and now after a couple Christmases, now they have a huge investment. Something ever happens to me, or, if not, and, when they turn 18, they could sell them and buy their first car.
That's great. Now, before COVID, baseball cards were worth trash.
Right.
Now they're worth a fortune.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, COVID changed everything, yeah.
People are going back upstairs, pulling them out of the boxes. People are going online, and everyone lived online. I was personally home from work for 4 months. They shut the casino down like it was their job. Home for 4 months. I was bored off my ass.
Right.
Fighting about politics I didn't know anything about. I realized during COVID that I didn't know what I was talking about.
Right.
So I'm like, well, how am I arguing about politics when I don't know shit about them? So I shut up, learned the last 4 years, and boy, have I learned the last 4 or 5 years, man. Holy shit. But COVID changed a lot. COVID changed the bar scene, changed the club scene. It changed how people operate their restaurants. Our Carol and Janelle's in Old Forge never reopened their dining room. They just do takeout. You ever have food from there? Great pizza, great Old Forge style pizza.
Wow, like maybe back in the day.
Yeah. So I used to love going to the dining. I used to go through after Friday night football game. I remember going to the Old Forge game, watch my niece cheer a year or so ago. And I'm like, let's go eat at our Carol and Janelle's after the game.
Right.
They're like, oh, they closed the dining room. I'm like, what do you mean they closed the dining room? They had never reopened. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So excuse me. It changed how a lot of restaurants and businesses do business.
It's like you can't take things for granted anymore. Like, I mean, we were just completely shut down. Like, we couldn't show a house.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
You're in the real estate business.
Right.
You also just started in the estate sale business.
Yeah.
Perfect combination, like you were saying, right?
So, like, if somebody, I could sell their house and I could sell their contents. Like, I really love that I started the estate sale company because, like, our customer base, they feel like family. Like, they come to our sales sometimes just to say hi. It just feels like family.
That's great. How long have you been doing real estate for?
10 years, and doing the estate sales for like 4 or 5 years, and I just love our customers.
That's great. You have your own business, correct?
Right.
What's the name? Tell everyone about it when they come see you if they need to.
It's Homes of NEPA. I've been doing that. Well, I've been doing real estate for 10 years. I started my company like 3 or 4 years ago. Sometimes you just have to step out and do your own thing. So it's never easy starting your own business, but I think you have to take the jump.
What were you doing before that?
I was working for a nonprofit in Scranton.
Okay.
And, it was just time for a change. My brother was flipping houses.
Okay.
So I'm like, why did I never think about getting into real estate? So I did.
Nice. And here we are.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I said fantastic way too much in my first episode. I'm looking at Mike right now. I'm like, I limit myself on saying fantastic. I said it like 8 times. Looking for the perfect grooming experience for your pup? Welcome to Carly's Fairy Tale Dog Grooming, located at 8 North Main Street in Pittston. We offer boutique-style grooming with a focus on quality over quantity. Your furry friend will enjoy a cage-free, stress-free environment where they will feel comfortable and pampered. At Carly's, we make sure every dog leaves feeling and looking like royalty. Call 541-410-9582 or stop in today to book your appointment at Carly's Fairy Tale Dog Grooming. You came into my apartment here, and your eyes were like they're real estate eyes. I didn't realize it until like about halfway through.
Right.
That was great though. It's a great place.
I mean, the real estate in our area is finally like going nuts. Like,
good.
I mean, it's going nuts everywhere.
Yeah.
But like, I helped somebody buy a house, 3 or 4 years ago, and without doing anything to it, they're now getting double the price.
That's amazing.
Like, the market, like, but everybody from New York and Jersey are coming to our area because it's so much cheaper. And, you have all these big industrial parks coming, and like Nanticoke and like Hanover. And, there's only so many homes to go around. So, like, prices pretty much doubled.
How do you feel about the apartment prices, renting prices?
Good luck.
How do you feel about the increase? Explain it. Like, give me a. It's just because. Was it more of like a windfall from other people doing it? Now everybody's doing it.
Like, in my business, I'm not a part of the rental market. Like, I don't deal with that space. But I see it in places in Plymouth used to be like $700-800 a month rent. Now they're $1,500. Like, I think people need to get serious, like, and like get at it. Like, you have to get on board with what do I need to do to buy a house, because renting is just, it's too expensive.
I was looking for a place before I came here. I had really good landlords at the older place I lived in, Kingston. They owned the two properties right next to each other. There was 8 apartments total, 2-bedroom apartments, big living room, dining room, kitchen, you know what I mean? 1 bathroom, beautiful place, balcony on the outside. They raised our rent when I used to live there, like $20. It was still under $900. Nothing included in it, but still, for a place like that, if some landlord came in from out of state and bought that building up, it'd be $1,500 apartments.
That's what happens. People come in.
But the landlords are content, though. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, people are coming from New York and Jersey, and they're not really like invested in our area, like, so they're just looking at it to make money. They're buying places, they're renting them out for way more than they should be, and it's tough for people looking to rent now.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
I was telling you earlier. I looked at some places that were $1,000 dumps.
Yeah,
where they're photoshopping the photos.
Yeah.
You think I'm not going to notice it not looking like this in the photos? Like, that's what I'm expecting. I went to one place, there was no windows.
Right.
They won't turn the lights on. It smelled like cats.
It's like even to buy, like, it's hard to buy a house under $100,000 in our area. Yeah. Like, going back 5-6 years ago, like, there was options to buy a house under $100,000. Like, it's not even possible now.
I would love to buy a house. We're gonna look for rental properties soon for the studio. I want to open up my personal training space for my personal training business. And then my brother, so I'm talking about the baseball cards. He does the baseball cards too. He works for what's the top grading company for the baseball?
PSA.
Yes, he works for them. It's his side hustle.
Right.
But it's grown to the point where it's almost the same as a regular job.
Is he local?
Yeah, he works. My brother manages J&J Snacks.
Okay.
And music there. So he works for the corporate part of that, and he does the baseball cards on the side. But he teaches classes online how to do the baseball cards. And PSI, they pay him for that, and he grades the cards. He gets
right.
He went to a card show the one weekend. Sold about $10,000 worth of cards. Made up 20% of that for himself.
Like, kids are making, like, I'm seeing people on their YouTube channels, they're 24, 25, and they have, they're selling cards that are $30,000-$40,000 each, like, as if it's nothing anymore.
I missed out on that boat. I should get in. It's never too late to get into it. But I used to be a big power eBay seller.
Right.
I used to sell wrestling figures.
Yeah.
WWE Elite Mattel wrestling figures. People would pay $60-$70 for them before they find them at their stores. I was that guy. So I wanted them all. Right now. I'm like, why am I paying $70 when I could be selling them for $70? So I flipped it around. I had a really good year, but then I got into a little bit of trouble, and my life got away from me.
Right.
But you're right. The collectibles. I could have a wrestling figure empire right now, but it wasn't meant to be.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people didn't know what was going to be hot. People didn't know in 2000 when Pokemon came out that, like, if you bought a box of cards in 2000 and stored it in your tote, it could now be worth $90,000. Like, I wish I got into that space a lot sooner. Star
Wars toys. You see the prices for when they released the prequel movies in 98, right? Some of the Lego sets, they go for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And they were $38, $40 back in the day when KB was going out of business. Man, you're right. If we only knew. There's some wrestling figures that were selling for $27.99 on Ringside Collectibles when they first came out, like a CM Punk figure or a Hogan figure, right? Mm-hmm. They're selling mint condition $260, $300 on eBay. When I was height of my selling, I made $15,000 off my collection. I probably paid about $6,000 for it. So think about that.
Yeah.
A lot of flea markets, people not knowing what they have at flea markets. You buy a big box of wrestling figures for $50. Mm-hmm. The first one you take out of there is this Elite Batista figure that's worth $100. Right. It's amazing sometimes.
Well, some people, they just collected they got into like Beanie Babies or Hess trucks or
there's a whole Netflix moments. Special on Beanie Babies.
Like some of those categories, people like, they got, they have big collections and now they're selling for like pennies on the dollar. There
is a video on YouTube or Netflix about the Beanie Baby story. Mm-hmm. There's literally footage of this couple getting a divorce.
Right.
And they're in the middle of the courtroom is a big pyramid of the Beanie Babies that they were splitting up with the judge.
Now
my mother was a Beanie Baby girl.
Yeah, now they're worth nothing.
Yeah, worth nothing. Absolutely worth nothing. Let's get back to food real fast. So you mentioned, I haven't talked about Tunkhannock in a while, but I remember I just saw somebody post a nostalgia picture of one of the area's few sit-down dine-in Pizza Huts. Now, there's a Pizza Hut original building still in Dunmore, but I don't think you can eat inside there.
No, I
can't confirm that or not.
People have posted on my page that Pizza Hut is a good experience in Tunkhannock. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like I've never been there before, but people have shared positive experiences.
Yeah. Pizza Hut I grew up with. There was in Pittston. It's it's a veterinarian place now. That building, you go around the bin.
Right.
If you go around the bin right there, that's where Pizza Hut was. My brother choked on one of those candies there.
Oh, jeez.
And my father had to pick him up by his feet and shake him. I guess that was the Heimlich in the 80s compared to their traditional Heimlich maneuver that you do. My father was like, what do I do? What do I do? He picked him up by his feet, and my brother, the candy came out of the mouth.
Oh, shit. I mean, when I was a kid, like, it felt like Domino's was like a premium pizza. When I was like
excited for Domino's, they delivered to the house.
When I was like 12, back in the 90s, it felt like, oh, we're getting Domino's, like as if it was some kind of expensive, fancy pizza. And now you could go to Domino's and get a large pizza for like $5.99.
You could break the glass and they'll give you one for free. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yep. In the app, I ordered Domino's a few weeks ago, like midnight, and the app told me it was delivered. Like 10 minutes before I realized it was delivered. Right. I look outside, it's not there, so I'm looking everywhere else. I have to call. Oh, the order's not ready yet, sir. I'm like, why is your tracker telling me it was delivered? Whatever, right? The pizza did come, and it was good. Pineapple, ham and pineapple on that.
I can't do pineapple.
It's really good.
Like pickles or pizza, I just can't.
Yeah, I can do the pineapple on pizza. The reason I like pineapple on pizza is because Easter dinner, we would have ham, pineapple, and pasta.
Right.
Stuffed shells. So... And at some point, that ham, that pineapple, and that tomato sauce mixed together.
Right.
And then you eat it, you're like, wow, that tastes great. And then you would think the cheese wouldn't be good with that, but it is. It is. It is. But up at Tunkhannock, there's also Twigs.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, I was there probably like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think that's the most underrated restaurant in our area.
What'd you have?
It was salmon stuffed with crab meat and like...
That's one of my top 10 dishes right there, just in general. Stuffed salmon with crab meat.
I don't
love it.
I typically stay away from salmon. It just feels like, like if I'm going to go out to eat, like I'm going to order something that like I can't cook.
I hear you. I agree with that.
But, something was just telling me get the salmon with the crab, and like I hate leftovers. And there was like a portion that was left over, and like I did not let that go. Like I was thinking about that salmon with crab meat for like days. So if anybody, like from Wilkes-Barre that doesn't like to drive, like I would take the drive to Twigs and get the salmon stuffed with crab meat for sure.
I want to take a drive and get some salmon stuffed with crab meat now. That sounds fantastic.
It's just like you walk in there, it's just a nice vibe. It's set up nice.
Yeah.
And, like, their menu isn't, just the typical stuff that you see everywhere. Like, we just went to Greco's. And, like, if you could get one of those private booths, I don't know if any other places have that type of setup.
I've been there before, that private booth. A long time, 20 years ago.
I would have to say Greco's has, like, the best, like staffing experience.
That's great.
Like if you walk in there, there's like someone to do the water, something like taking your plate, somebody like checking on you. Like it feels like there's a whole production.
Yeah, I like that. The full experience.
Yeah, Shauna. I think I don't know if she's a manager or whatever, but she's been there for a while. I feel like they have a really great team there. If you want to have a date night, like I would probably go to Greco's. If you could get a call early, days in advance, get a private booth, and just like the food and the customer experience, I think it's like hard to match.
I love that. That was a good shout out for them. Great shout out for them.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. We all have our favorite spots.
Right.
You know what I mean? I already talked about the bowling alley already. So this has been a great conversation.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I have a couple more questions.
Sure.
I feel like we eat our Cadbury eggs while I'm answering your questions.
Sure.
So Cadbury eggs are my favorite chocolate. How about yourself? What's your favorite chocolate?
There's a lot of good like local places.
I agree.
I forget that place like on River Street where they make like I forget that like chocolate place there.
There's Dunmore Candy Kitchen in Dunmore. There's a couple
Right.
locations. We got Gertrude Hawks is local.
Yeah, Gertrude.
Uh,
It's just like when you get off the Cross Valley, you make a left
Oh,
going toward.
you know, Sops or something like that. Is in the plaza where the supermarket is, right?
Yeah,
The Burger King is.
right.
I know what it is.
I forget what they have, but they have some kind of like.
There was only a way for me. They have a peanut butter something. There was the only way for me to look it up.
Peanut butter something that's
the
really
first
good
thing
there.
that pops up.
Penn State and everything.
Penn
yeah.
State on the Valley.
Who runs that page? Do you know? Like the Valley?
Ryan, my buddy Ryan. I talked about after class. Yeah, he runs. I know who runs that.
I mean, he does really
Does a
well
good
with
job.
that page.
Good job. Yeah, really, really, really good job. El Sops or something like that. Right there.
Yeah, John Stope. Yeah.
Yeah, John. Oh man, those peanut butter things.
Oh, it's
yeah?
peanut butter chiffon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good. So, Cadbury eggs. Cheer to the Cadbury eggs that I got robbed on. But as we eat, you were asking me questions earlier, which I love, by the way. If you're a guest on Food Fight, please ask me questions. I love answering questions. What's your favorite food?
I would say, just like how you had pizza, if you had one last meal.
That's the next question.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it would be like the bowling alley chicken wing pizza.
That's your favorite food?
It's just like a really good comfort food, I don't know. If I just had one, like, it doesn't matter if it was fancy or not fancy. I think that would be up there.
All right. So chicken wing pizza from the bowling alley.
Yes.
I gotta get it now.
Yes.
You're on death row
Mm-hmm.
because you got pissed off that Notre Dame lost tonight,
Right.
and you took it out on somebody. Now you're on death row because of it.
Right.
What's your last meal? Go Irish.
I mean, I probably didn't know before like 2 weeks ago, but that like salmon stuff with crab meat from Twigs, like it's unbelievable.
What about before that?
That's tough because like I love like every place for what they are. It's like picking your favorite child. Like
It could be something that maybe your family made, or you make, or you saw. Anything.
I don't know. It's tough. I do like boneless bites. Like they're my like craving.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like anything fancy. But like one of my like soft spots is like boneless bites.
Okay. So boneless bites.
Yeah.
We're bringing you a pile of boneless bites into your cell. I got you. What food are you eating 24/7, 7 days a week?
I mean, I feel like you have to be careful.
That's all you can eat though,
Yeah.
too. So you gotta make your decision.
I feel like in our area you have to be careful. Like food could catch up to you fast.
Mhm.
Like I had to make changes like a couple months ago where like I was just getting a little bit too unhealthy.
I understand that.
But I think like hoagies in our area are
That's a
really
good answer. Mike's answer was a cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger.
That was a fucking great answer. Love a cheeseburger. I'm staring at the double cheeseburger on your shirt the whole time we've been doing
Yeah,
that.
I don't know whoever made this logo, but they made it when we started.
I like it a lot.
But like Vino's on Blackman Street.
Their Italian hoagie. Jesus, it's so good.
you know, with the bread in the middle. Like, I don't know what, like, who, like, sat down and said, like, let's cut the bread like this.
Yeah. And you get the bozos online. Too much bread.
Yeah.
It's the same amount of bread on the hoagie, regardless. It's just cut differently. I like that, though.
Yeah, that place is, like, you know, they do it well. You know, they take a hoagie and they do it well.
Yeah, their Facebook page got taken over by like a Pakistani page, and Facebook just wouldn't give it back to them.
Like, it's just crazy. Like, you know, something stupid like that.
That's why that's why I paid for the Meta Verify.
Right.
They don't give the check marks away anymore. You get to pay for them. I pay for it because I don't want anyone to rip off my page.
Right.
Simple as that. It's worth it. The investment I'm putting into the page, which eventually I hope will pay off, as part of Food Fight. You know what I mean? I want to protect it. So if I got to pay X amount of dollars to protect it, that's what I'm going to pay. So no one. So and then we finally have direct access to Facebook, like their help service. Actually call somebody. You could never do that. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I feel like Vino's could be like one of those another, like, you know, prison food. Like, if I'm gonna have one last meal, like a Vino's hoagie, like, I mean, I think that could be up there too.
Oh, it could definitely be up there. I've had Italian hoagie from there, and I've had a cheesesteak from there.
I get there. It's like a honey turkey something.
That sounds good.
You know,
that sounds honey turkey. Oh, that sounds really, really good. That sounds really good. Well, Eric, it was really nice meeting you finally.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We've been food flirting for years. Finally got you on the Food Fight podcast. Sure. You're my first, besides Mike being my first guest, our first guest on the podcast that we're doing together, episode 38. You're gonna be episode 39. You're the first official food guest on Food Fight.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming in, man. Thank you so much. This is Food Fight. I'm your host, Brian DiMattei, and this was a Food Fight production. If anybody's interested in being a sponsor for the show, please reach out, and we can talk more about that. In the meantime, enjoy the game tonight. Oh, actually, this is gonna be a week. This is gonna be a week later. So prediction, score, then we can match it back up.
I think Notre Dame's gonna win 24-14.
Gonna be a tight game. All right, I'm gonna go 21-10, Fighting Irish. Only because
I'll take it.
I, for some reason, cannot like Penn State football. All right?
Let's do it.
Food Fight.